Hello, I'm Jordan Staniford. I'm the executive chef here at Crystalbrook Byron, and we're in Byron Bay doing some pickles and ferments. And today I'm going to show you just a really simple, call it a quick kraut. It's essentially going to be more like a pickled cabbage, but we've utilized some elements of making a kraut. So we started by thinly shaving some cabbage. So you can do this with a knife, or if you have a mandolin at home, you can shave it on that, or even a grater will work just fine. Thinly shave it, and then we salt the cabbage. The recipes will be included here, so don't worry about that. But it's a liberal salting of the cabbage. Mix it all through, and then leave it covered in a bowl overnight. The next day we can just basically wring the cabbage out, squeeze all that extra water and moisture that the salt will draw out of the cabbage, and then you've got this beautiful limp pre-kraut style cabbage to work with. And then we just introduce the flavors that we want. So we've used a Savoy cabbage, very nice sweet cabbage here, and today we're going to do a carrot turmeric kraut. So we've got some fresh turmeric, got some carrot, and all we're going to do is get a grater. And we'll start with the turmeric. Any of you who've grated or juiced turmeric know that this one is very susceptible to staining. It's bright yellow, so we use that first, so that way hopefully we can clean the grater off a little bit with the carrot too. A little bit of forward thinking. So grate your turmeric. I'm using the fine grater here. We want to extract as much of the virtuous properties of the turmeric and the color of the turmeric to color our quick kraut. So that's why we use the fine side of the grater for the turmeric. I've just got 3 sort of small finger length knobs of turmeric. We want to be reasonably liberal, but we don't want to overpower it either. Can't really be a carrot turmeric kraut without a good amount of turmeric in there, however. So we just grate that. Now this kraut that we're making is just so good for your gut health that I like to use it with all sorts of things. You can put it on sandwiches, hot dogs. It's really nice with like a nourish bowl if you have some other elements that aren't fermented and pickled. Don't want to really overdo it, but even nice with just some nice salad leaves and a piece of grilled fish, a little bit of kraut. Coming into summer too, it's bright, vibrant, flavoursome, good for you. And then we're just going to get the carrot, and you can do it on the small one. Like I said, it's got the added function of removing some of that turmeric from your home grater so you don't end up with a yellow grater, but it doesn't really need to be. We can make it rustic, we can make it on the bigger piece, and then you'll get through it quicker. And part of doing the simple pickling and fermenting project here is we want to make it accessible, not too time consuming. We want you to be able to have some fun with these recipes and do them at home and not utilize your whole day off to do meal prep. So there we go. Grated the carrot. And we can add that into the cabbage mix here. Beautiful. Just using 1 carrot, you could use 2. We'll move this out of the way. And then all we're going to do is just really mix it well into the cabbage so it's evenly dispersed, so that turmeric can start sort of bleeding in and dyeing the cabbage and flavouring the cabbage. Cleaned my hands before I started. very important when we're doing these sort of ferments and pickles, that everything, the jar we're going to store it in, our hands, the bowls we mix it in, everything's got to be sterilized and clean, because we're going to leave this for a period of time and we don't want any bacteria to come in and spoil our mix. So here we go. It's pretty well mixed here. Still some little pockets of turmeric that we want to get it nicely mixed in there. Keep in mind, we don't have to be too over the top, because as it sits in the jar that we're going to ferment it in, the more liquid will come out of the cabbage and the carrot and everything, and it will start to marinate in that juice as well, so that'll help mix the flavour around also. But if we've come this far and we've done it to this degree, we're going to have a pretty high success rate with our final kraut. And then just take our little jar here, and we really want to pack it tightly in. So the best way to do that is to just make sure we're pressing down every layer as we go, because it's a lot easier to compact the kraut that way than it is to try and push it down from the top once it's fully loaded. And we're just trying to remove as much of any air pockets as possible. You can already see, I hope, let's get in the camera shot, how much actual liquid is coming out at this stage, just as it is. One more, lots of carrot in that one, that's nice. That's what we want in our carrot kraut. Beautiful. All the way to the top. And we just want to make a little seal here with some baking paper. It's going to help keep the cabbage into the liquid. Should be able to hold that down and somehow push the lid over and lock it in. And we have the jarred up, ready to go kraut. It's going to now take at least 2 days before that starts to ferment. And then you might want to open the lid and let a little bit of the gas out, and then just check how it's going. And then probably once you've let that initial gas out, it should be fine to close the lid up. I'd let it breathe when I do that for a couple of hours, close the lid back up and put it into your fridge or your chiller, and 2 weeks it will be perfect. It'll just get better over those first weeks, and it'll get more of that beautiful fermented sort of fizzy acidic flavour, and it'll be good to go. And it should last, I would say, easily 3 months, this kraut. So that's carrot, turmeric, quick kraut.